Okay, so we're going to continue our dividing polynomials. In part one, we talked about how we use long division to divide polynomials. And today we're going to try another method called synthetic division, which you can use sometimes, but is not always applicable. All right, let's talk a little bit about what roots are again. If you remember, before we learned how to find roots by factoring, and so we factored this polynomial x squared minus 3x minus 28. And we said two numbers that multiply to be negative 28, but also add up to be negative 3. And we found negative 4 and positive 7. So once you had it factored, then to figure out what the roots were, we set it equal to 0. Okay, and then we said, well, what numbers would make each of these binomials equal 0? So the answer here would be 4, right? Because 4 minus 4 is 0, and our other root would be negative 7. So these were our roots. And we're going to kind of use this premise to help us a little bit today as well with synthetic division. Okay. So how do we do this? First of all, what does synthetic mean? Well, there's a couple definitions, but you can see here, one of them is devised, arranged, or fabricated for special situations to imitate or replace usual reality. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to replace, this is another method to replace or sort of imitate what we were doing with long division. Now, it's not always possible to use. Here's sort of the process that you'll see in the book, but this is a little confusing, so I just kind of want to go through this step by step. Once we start to, just like with long division, we need to make sure our divisor and our dividend are in standard form. And then if there's any missing terms, we want to make sure that also that we're using 0 or 0x or 0x squared, whatever the term is, as a placeholder. And then the only time you can use synthetic division is if your divisor is in this x plus a form. Namely, that means no coefficient other than 1 in front of x. And so that has to be the case, or you cannot use synthetic division. So that's why you need long division and synthetic division. Okay, so how does this work? Well, first, when we do this, you're going to start out by writing a little half box right here. Now, what goes in that half box? I'm going to write the root. It's the root of your divisor. So if you look, here's my divisor. What would make this equal 0? And that would be negative 3. So you want to put, so that is what goes in this little half box. Okay, so I'm going to put negative 3. Okay. And then you are going to look here, make sure it's in standard form. Your dividend, make sure it's in standard form. In this case, it is. Also, you want to look for any missing terms, and you'll use a 0 to hold that place. Now, there are no missing terms at this one, so what we're going to do is just write the coefficients of each term in order. So remember, coefficients are these ones in front. So I'm going to say 6, negative 5. Make sure you watch the signs on all of these, and negative 6. Okay, and then you're going to leave one line. You're going to leave a blank line here, and then you're going to draw a line across. Over here, you're going to put another half box. This will be your remainder. Okay, now, what we do, everything above this line, you will add. Anything below this line right here, you will multiply by your negative 3 here in this case. Okay, so how do we start? This is going to be weird at first. You're going to bring the 6 down. Okay, now I'm going to take and multiply these two right here and then put it right here. So negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. We're going to put that right here. Okay, And now then these two we now add. So negative 5 plus negative 18 is negative 23. Okay, and then once again, anything below this line, you're going to multiply by this guy right here, negative 3. So we're going to say negative 3 times negative 23 and multiply those two. So that's going to give us positive 69. Now we're going to add these two. So that would give us positive 63. Okay, so this is our answer, but you'll notice that's not a polynomial, is it? We need to write our answer as a polynomial. On your assignment, I'll have a little space where it just says answer, just write it there. So you need to convert this back into a polynomial. And how do we do that? Well, when I'm looking at this has a degree of 2. When you use synthetic division, your polynomial will always be 1 degree less. So this has a degree of 2, so it means my answer has a degree of 1. So that means this is the x term, this is the constant, and this is the remainder. Okay, so this converts back into 6x minus 23. And then we're going to write our remainder, which is 63, always over the divisor. Now you want to write your divisor, look back up here, it's x plus 3. So x plus 3. Okay. And this is my answer. So it's a quick kind of crash course on synthetic division. So that's how it works. We're going to go ahead and try this another time here. Hopefully this will make some sense once you see it a few more times. Okay, so again, always make sure your divisor and dividend are in standard form. We want to make sure that this is an x plus a form. It is. It's just a negative 2 there. That's okay. And we also need any placeholders. This one is not in standard form and also is missing some terms. So I'm going to rewrite this. Notice there's no x squared term. So I'm going to highlight that by changing colors here and just put plus 0x squared. And then plus 14x. And then minus 7. So really this would be my dividend in standard form with missing terms. So I'm going to now use my synthetic division here. So I want what makes this 0 here. So I'm going to put positive 2 in this box here. And now I'm going to write my coefficients of my dividend. So 4, negative 11, don't forget the 0, 14, and negative 7. Okay, I'm going to draw my line. And then over here, put my little remainder box over here. Okay. Now, if it's helpful, again, you might want to put, when I'm above this line, I'm adding. When I'm below, I'm multiplying, in this case, by 2. Okay, so step 1, bring this down. Now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 4 goes right here. That's 8. Add those together, I get negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add these together. 0 plus negative 6 is negative 6. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Add together, we get 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add those together, we get negative 3. Okay. Now, we've just used synthetic division. Make sure you convert it back into a polynomial. So my answer then, remember this is going to be, my answer should be 1 degree less than what I started with. Well, if I look at this polynomial here, it's a degree 4. Okay, so that means down here, this 4 is going to represent 4x to the third, 1 degree less. Okay. All right, so we're going to write 4x to the third. And then each of these is just go down by 1 each time. So this would be minus 3x squared minus 6x plus 2. And then My remainder is negative 3, so I'm going to write minus 3 over my divisor, which is x minus 2. There we go. And this is my answer. Now, sometimes when you put in missing terms, you might have more than one 0 there. Make sure all terms are represented. If anything's missing, use that placeholder. All right, and that's synthetic division. Hope that makes some sense. Give this a try, write it into your planner, and then once you've completed it, submit it to Schoology and check it off in your planner. Good luck.